Hey everyone, I'm Erica Gamble on the marketing team with Pinhole Press. We spread smiles with handcrafted photo, gifts, books, and games. We design our gifts to withstand a lot of love so that they can be enjoyed instead of being kept on a shelf. Our guest today believes that the little moments really are the big moments and that no memory is too small to print. And we could not agree more. Kelle describes herself as a writer, mother, and maker, and she is so much more. She is the author of New York Times best-selling memoir, Bloom, and the creative mind behind KelleHampton.com, and we're thrilled to have her here with us today. Welcome, Kelle.
Thank you for the nice intro. I'm thrilled to be here. So 2013, my youngest would have been a baby. He wasn't even 1 year old, and I don't remember how I discovered you guys, but I think my first order was a memory game. And so my whole history comes from I started in photography. I love photos. I love celebrating. I love motherhood. The book came about from years of blogging and blogged mostly about motherhood and just wanting to hang on to those moments, knowing that it's a really small window. And one thing I've always been very passionate about is getting photos off those. We take so many beautiful photos and getting them off of our phones and off of our computers and actually doing something with them so that we can enjoy them. And back in the day, the only thing you did was you printed 4x6s and you bought an album and you shoved them in the little sleeves. And so I've always loved anytime I see a different way to use and display photos. So the memory game was really fun. And we have several now. One of my favorite ones is we pull out our Christmas set. So we have all of our favorite Christmas photos, and we switched this one out in December. But I love that it was a way for the kids, especially with the memory game, something that they love playing, but for them to actually see their own photos and to be able to remember events. And I'm actually going to go through and show you some of our other Pinhole products. And
sure.
So, I know the Pinhole, what you guys offer so much, and I order the same things the same time of year. So one of the things that I love, I think was after I ordered the memory book, I found the board books. And we used I think it's my first board book, but we went on a trip one time and I think it was maybe one of our first summers in Michigan. I wanted to just have a place to put all the photos that the kids could actually look back. And so what I love about the board book is it withstands kids. I mean, my kids look at these all the time. This whole basket is in Dash's room.
Oh my gosh.
Many different books in here of all these different trips on it. So it was just, I got in the habit of when we came back from a trip, editing the photos and immediately just dropping them in. Super user friendly too. It was just very easy to just drag and drop. So now we have this basket. And it's really fun because the kids don't forget. So they talk about our trips all the time because they look at the pictures. So it's funny how much, even years ago, like trips that when Dash was a baby, he'll still talk about it. I know he doesn't necessarily remember it, but he remembers it from looking at the photos so many times. So we do the board books, and we still do that anytime we go on a trip. Our memory games, I've done the puzzles. One of the puzzle memories I love is the ones that have the faces, and on the other, they match with the actual text of the name. And we use those when my middle child, Nella, she has Down syndrome. So we're always looking for things that can help her with reading and any sort of educational purpose. And she started recognizing the names of our families, even without the photos, just from playing that game so many times. And she learned really early on how to spell everybody's names. So I love that. And then, yes, the thing I'm most passionate about is the hardcover album. We've done softcover too, but we do this every year. It's our gift to our family at the end of the year. And we start, the way that I organize my photos, I just start with January and go all throughout the year. And I keep up on this book so it's not a giant project at the end of the year. So I'm actually current to this day. Kids started school last week, and I already am up to the point. I always know because it holds 90 pages. So I know, of course, my problem was always I have too many photos. So I know about June, July, I should be at the 50-page mark. So I already have the kids' first day of school at home in our album. And then it's great because when Christmas rolls around, all I have to do is order it because the book is already done. But we love these books. They sit on our coffee table. The kids look at them all the time. I look at them all the time. I have this weekend ritual, and it's even made more purposeful right now with everything we're going through in 2020 and being home and not being able to travel. And I think so many of us are looking inward, and we're so much more grateful for little moments that maybe we were too busy before to acknowledge, and just our families. And so oftentimes when I wake up before the rest of my family, I'll pour my coffee and I'll go sit on the couch and I'll pull these albums up and I'll just go back through. And it's almost like a spiritual thing for me just to look and say, this is my family. These are the moments that we live, and I'm so grateful for them. But then people come over and they look at them. So our books get looked at, they get loved, they get used. I love that the pages are, I sing the praises of these books all the time. And anyone always asks me, like, where should I get I'm like, Pinhole Press. Get the hardcover album. It's almost like a wedding album. They have these really big, thick pages. And I love that it holds 90 pages, so we can get our entire year. And then with all the different layouts, we do some pages full spread. So for the really good photos, and then others, we can actually fit a lot of photos on one page. So yeah, if there was a fire in my house, I would grab our Pinhole Press albums. And then the soft cover ones, this was great we spent a much longer summer in Michigan than we usually do, so we had a lot more photos. And so I did a soft cover album, and love that the pages are still the same, really thick pages, and it holds a little bit less, but it's still a really nice book. We do calendars at the end of every year. I always get one for our own family. And it's really fun to choose what photo is going to be on what month, and whoever has a birthday that month, their photo gets to be the feature. And the kids have a lot of fun with at the end of the month flipping to see what picture is going to be next. And we give those away. We just duplicate that order and give them away to grandparents for the holidays. And then our magnets. So our refrigerator in our garage is covered with pinhole magnets. And it's funny because some people walk in it, they think it's some sort of like custom fridge because it's so beautiful and the magnets are all uniform. And we've been doing this for years. I just ordered another 12 set the other day of our summer. And our goal is to eventually cover, we're going around the sides of the fridge now to cover the entire fridge with these magnets. We'll have this goal of, they get way behind on their photos and they'll say like, I don't even know where to begin. And I do have a system that works really well. And I had, so I organized my photos by year. And I think the overwhelm, it always seems like a bigger process than it's actually going to be. And my first rule of advice is good is better than perfect. And so some people, they keep putting it off because they think that when they're going to make their album, they're going to add a lot of text. And when Lainey was a baby, I used to make these completely elaborate scrapbooks, and I wrote stories and letters to her on every page, and everything had these digital layouts, and I wasted so many hours. People actually used to tease me and said, when you have more kids, you're not going to do that. And I was like, yes, I will. And the key to doing it is dropping some of those expectations. So Pinhole does allow a text option. I don't put any text in my album because I'm a perfectionist and a procrastinator, and I know that I will get so hung up on it being perfect that I'll never finish it. So one of the things that's allowed me to keep up with this, and every single year, is to let go of like, yes, of course it could be elaborate and have letters to the kids and all these. I just go with simple photos. And then as far as the way that I organize my photos too, some people have a hard time choosing and they have so many. I had my best friend at the end of the year, 2 years ago. I mean, we were down to the cutoff of when you had to order a book to get it before Christmas, and she really wanted to do it for her family. And she said, I don't even know where to begin. I don't have any of my photos organized. And I told her, just go through your photos of this year and choose 10 from each month. Just put them on a flash drive and bring them to me. And we did it. And we also, some of them were phone photos too. I think people ask a lot, like, do you ever use phone photos? You wouldn't even know in these books which photos were phone and which were DSLR, because the quality is so great. And if you edit it a little bit, but we had a beautiful album that we put together in less than an hour just from making the process a little bit simpler.
Aside from the variety of our gifts and the years that you've been making them, this year is like no other. And I'm curious how the circumstances might have changed how your family's making gifts, or even just relying on the ones that you have around the house.
I think this was a really good year for more meaningful gifts. And I think with photos, and I'm a photography lover, and this is like, photo gifts are my love language to begin with. But I think not only being home for so many people, have they maybe had a little bit more time to attack some photo projects and go through old photos. And I think sometimes we always, going through our phone and getting everything off and sorting photos, it's always one of those things that we just keep putting to the back burner. So it's a really good time to really go through that. And also just, it's been a year of really honing in on what's important. And these photo gifts, it's our families, it's our loved ones, it's, and even like with the travel aspect of not being able to travel. And I've read so many people saying that they're going back through old trips that they took. And this is a time to sort of relive those memories again. And that's what I love about when you do something with your photos and you make it so that people can enjoy it. The enjoyment of that moment and the money that you spent on a trip doesn't end with that. It's something that you can go back and, have joy in. And we do that all the time with our photos. I mean, sometimes we'll sit we'll open up our coffee table album, the hardcover one, and the kids will be sitting next to me, and we'll spend 5 minutes on one spread pointing, like telling stories and remembering. And so this is a really good year for that. And I think, photo gifts take a whole new meaning for grandparents and loved ones. And some people have been separated from their families more this year and haven't been able to see them. And so hold on a second. I'm getting a call. Did that stop?
Just paused it for a sec.
Oh, this is a really good time to really think about those gifts, and even taking our quarantine moments. I think sometimes that for photo of our albums, and we think that it has to be that highlight reel, that it has to be the amazing trips that we took or that big event, and that there are so many moments within our home, just everyday life that we've lived this year, that would make a beautiful album. And that's one thing that I love, and I feel like is a specialty of mine, of just recognizing the extraordinary and ordinary. And so I've actually tried to push myself to take more photos, even though we're just home, to really recognize these moments that we've been living so long that we maybe didn't realize were sacred, of just staying in our pajamas in the morning and light that comes in a certain window. And I think we're all looking at our homes in a different light, and being able to capture this in photos. Quarantine at home, even though we laugh and say it's boring and we miss travel, it's worthy of an album. Those moments are worthy to be recognized and saved and loved. One of the things I love too about the board books, and most of them are just photos, but we have used them. See if I have one. I've done one for my dad and one for my husband's dad, but where the kids actually write a story about what they love about their grandparents. So again, these sort of things are they just make beautiful gifts, and they'll make people cry. But this is the year where everybody is feeling it, and these sort of things take on completely new meaning.
If people want to learn more about you and what you're working on, because you've always got something up your sleeve, where can people find out more information?
Two best places are to go to my website, which is Kelle with an E, Kelle, Hampton.com, and sign up for the newsletter. And then you can find me on Instagram. That's where I share most of our everyday life, and it's at ETST, which stands for Enjoying the Small Things, and I share anything that's going on there.
Thank you so much, Kelle. As always, you've helped us spread smiles, and we look forward to with another holiday season with you. Until next time.
Erica, it was so good talking to you.